Hi folks, hope you're well. I just had a visitor and we were talking about the court case and he was saying without a lawyer you're knackered. Yeah, you could get banned from driving or you could get the worst thing that could be because you're not a lawyer. And the reality is, of course, that is true. But as I said to him, and this is very, very true, I know that if the justice of the peace is being true to the law, then I should be found not guilty. Should. Now, of course, is it a case where the lawyers, with the dog case, when they told me you can't trust the sheriff and the system, I imagine that they would also say that about the justice and the system. You can't trust the justices and the system as well. If they're right, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the prosecution have no evidence at all. If the system is stacked against you, you're going to lose. You are. You're going to lose. But as I said to him, the issue is, Mr. O'Neill, my solicitor, didn't actually take any time at all to really talk to me about the case. And so therefore, if there had been a trial, and he was the one in charge of defending me, that defence would have been absolutely useless anyway. I would have lost. I would have lost. That's the reality. I would. So therefore, doing it myself, at least I know what happened. At least I know what happened when I spoke to the police, what I said, what they said. At least I've done a bit of homework about what the law says about it. I don't think the solicitor would. I don't think he would have bothered at all. So I've got a better chance doing it myself. Although, obviously, with sleep apnea, if my brain stops working in court, I'm in trouble. Big trouble if I can't communicate. When I was talking to this person, we were talking about church, and he was saying, well, church is more like a sort of community place now. And I was trying to say community, could not. And I was trying to say community centre, could not. Because brain just wasn't working, it just wouldn't function. Now, of course, if that happens in court, then, yeah, I could be in trouble. But again, I'm not trusting my ability. I'm trusting God. Because I know as a public speaker, I don't have any experience of that. Defending people in court, I have no experience of that. I have experience having conversation with people and defending truth. And so therefore, that's what I'm going to do. Just focus on truth and defending truth. And if that isn't enough, then that isn't enough. But as I said to him, the reality is, if God is going to provide a wife who drives, I don't need to drive. So if I get banned from driving, that's okay. That's fine. I mean, ideally speaking, it'd be better if we can both drive. Especially if we're going to go down to different parts of the country. Yeah, if my car gets fixed and we're going to be driving that around with all the stickers on it all over the country, which is what I hope to be doing, then obviously if it's only one person driving, we're going to have to rest a lot. If we're taking it in turns, well then we can go longer without stopping. So therefore that would be better. But obviously, yeah, as I say, it is what it is. It is. What's going to happen is going to happen. Yeah. And that's the thing. Yeah. And I was thinking afterwards, because I was telling him about the 29th. So I was thinking about that afterwards and thinking, oh, that's a blinking good point. Because if it is a partner or wife, however you want to call it, if it is that, or if it's moving into the home that God has told me about, well, I won't have to take anything, then it's now the 26th. I've heard nothing. So it's highly unlikely that I'll be married on the 29th. it's highly unlikely that I'll be moving from where I am to someone else on the 29th. So, therefore, 11 weeks means what with regards to those? It means I could be contacted by, either a wife or could be contacted by the person who is dealing with the house on that day. Could be. It could simply be that that person who's dealing with it knows. Yeah, if it's a wife, that person knows that she will be my wife and she understands it on that day, but I don't get told. Because again, this is the point with God. He does not fill in the blinking details. So you're left. That's why I say this is where the problem comes in. You try to understand what it means, what's going to happen, and how it's going to happen, because all the details are left out. So of course that's why it's tempting to try and fill it. But as soon as you try and fill the details in, you just get more and more concerned about it because, it could be one of so many possibilities. Even the things that I've not even been waiting for God to deal with. It could be something that I have no idea I even needed. So and it could be something incredibly important that I didn't even realise I needed. And so when it comes to the 29th, I will be quite disappointed if that's the case. Well, because obviously if you don't realise you'll need it, when you've got it, you don't even realise you have it necessarily. So, therefore, And you certainly don't realise you need it until you realise, years down the line. Well, it's like what happened with the 8 months. At the end of the 8 months, when God wanted me to stand for 8 months. I didn't know at all what had happened. I was grateful for the journey, but I didn't know at all what had happened. Not at that time at the end. It took a week or two for me to understand what had happened. And what that 8 months had been about. It took time. It took time of reflecting, me going to God about it in order to understand. So, 11 weeks. But yes, I made sure to have a look on the calendar at the time to see when that date ended. And it is the 29th. It is Sunday coming. So we will see what happens. So anyway, there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Be a blessing, be blessed. And have a fantastic rest of the week. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.